There are moments in the entertainment industry that audiences never see. Moments that happen long before the cameras begin rolling, long before the first costume fitting, long before the posters appear across social media. Sometimes the biggest decision of an entire production happens inside a quiet meeting room with nothing more than a script resting on a wooden table. According to this story, that was exactly where everything began. It was a calm morning. Sunlight streamed through the tall studio windows, covering the conference room with a warm golden glow. Several producers had already arrived. Stacks of scripts rested neatly in front of every chair. Coffee cups released gentle curls of steam into the peaceful air. The atmosphere carried excitement. Everyone believed they were about to witness the beginning of another unforgettable production. Then Zhao Lusi entered. She greeted everyone with a warm smile before taking her seat. The room immediately became brighter. Not because cameras were present, not because reporters filled the hallway. Simply because everyone respected her thoughtful approach whenever she discussed a new role. The lead producer carefully slid a beautifully bound script across the table. Its elegant cover reflected months of preparation. The project had already attracted enormous attention inside the industry. The budget was impressive. The director had earned widespread admiration. The supporting cast included remarkable performers. From the outside, it looked like the kind of opportunity every actor dreams about. The producer smiled confidently. "We believe this story was written for you." Zhao Lusi thanked everyone before opening the first page. The room became completely silent. Minutes passed. Then more minutes followed. No one interrupted. Every producer watched quietly as she carefully read through the opening chapters. Occasionally, she smiled. Sometimes she paused. Other moments, she quietly turned back several pages before continuing again. Her attention to detail surprised even the writers. She was not searching for dramatic scenes. She was searching for something much deeper. She wanted to understand the heart of the story. Several hours later, the meeting finally ended. The producers felt optimistic. They believed everything had gone perfectly. The script had received compliments. Constructive questions had been asked. Everyone expected a positive answer within a few days. As Zhao Lusi left the building, she carried the script home instead of making an immediate decision. That evening, her apartment remained unusually quiet. The city outside continued moving with endless energy. Traffic lights reflected across rain-soaked streets. People hurried toward restaurants. Friends laughed inside nearby cafes. Inside her living room, only the soft turning of script pages could be heard. She read every chapter again. Then she started from the beginning. She highlighted moments that touched her heart. She made notes beside scenes she admired. She carefully studied the emotional journey of every important character. Hours quietly disappeared. Near midnight, she finally closed the script. She walked toward the window. The city lights stretched endlessly beneath the evening sky. Something still felt incomplete. The following morning, she called her trusted acting coach. Instead of asking whether the project would become successful, she asked a completely different question. If you removed the beautiful costumes and impressive production, would this character still inspire people? The coach remained thoughtful for a moment. That single question changed the entire conversation. Over the next several days, Zhao Lusi continued reflecting on the story. She met with the writers. She spoke with the director. She listened carefully as everyone explained their creative vision. Every meeting became more inspiring than the last. The passion inside the room was impossible to ignore. No one doubted the talent behind the production. Yet one concern quietly remained. The emotional journey of the main character never truly evolved. The story delivered spectacular moments. It offered breathtaking scenery. It contained unforgettable action. But something inside the character remained unchanged from beginning to end. For Zhao Lusi, that mattered more than anything else. She believed audiences remember growth more than perfection. People connect with characters who overcome fear, who learn from mistakes, who discover unexpected strength. Without meaningful transformation, even the most beautiful production can leave viewers emotionally distant. The writers appreciated her honesty. Instead of becoming defensive, they invited a long discussion. For several hours, everyone exchanged ideas. Scenes were examined, one after another. Entire character arcs were reconsidered. The meeting felt less like a negotiation and more like passionate storytellers searching for the strongest possible version of the story. When the conversation ended, everyone thanked one another sincerely. Several days later, a revised script arrived. Once again, Zhao Lusi spent the evening reading every page. Many improvements stood out immediately. The dialogue felt stronger. Several emotional scenes carried greater depth. The supporting characters had become more memorable. Yet one important element still remained unchanged. The central emotional journey never reached the level she hoped audiences deserved. The decision became incredibly difficult. Friends encouraged her to accept the project. Industry insiders predicted enormous success. Fans would undoubtedly celebrate the announcement. Everything pointed toward saying yes. Everything except her heart. One peaceful afternoon, she returned to the production office. The writers welcomed her warmly. The director smiled confidently. Everyone sensed an important conversation was about to begin. She thanked every person inside the room for their extraordinary effort. She praised the creativity behind the project. She admired the dedication shown throughout every meeting. Then she quietly explained that although the story possessed incredible potential, she did not believe she was the right person to bring this particular character to life. Silence filled the room. No one interrupted. No one argued. The director eventually smiled. He admitted he had secretly hoped she would remain completely honest regardless of the outcome. He thanked her for respecting the story enough to speak sincerely rather than accepting the role simply because it promised enormous attention. The writers nodded with quiet admiration. Instead of disappointment, the room became filled with respect. They spent another hour discussing storytelling. Favorite films. Unforgettable characters. The qualities that allow certain performances to remain meaningful for generations. By the time everyone stood to leave, the project had not gained its leading actress. But everyone had gained something equally valuable. A deeper appreciation for artistic integrity. Months later, another actress accepted the role. The production moved forward successfully. Audiences embraced the story. Critics praised many aspects of the finished drama. Meanwhile, Zhao Lusi accepted an entirely different project that centered on a character whose emotional journey challenged her in completely new ways. During a later fictional interview, she was asked whether she regretted turning down such a major opportunity. She smiled gently before answering. Every script teaches something. Some teach you why to say yes. Others teach you when to say no. Both lessons are equally important. Her answer quickly spread across fan communities. Many viewers admired the philosophy behind those simple words. Some believed success comes from accepting every opportunity. Others argued that true confidence sometimes means waiting for the story that genuinely speaks to your heart. The discussion continued for weeks. Not because of controversy, not because of disappointment, but because people rarely hear conversations about choosing purpose over popularity. Perhaps that became the real story all along. Not the project itself, not the decision, but the reminder that every great performance begins long before cameras arrive. It begins with a quiet choice, a careful reading of a script, an honest conversation, and the courage to trust your instincts even when the easier answer might be completely different. Sometimes the most important scene in an actor's career is never filmed. It happens inside a peaceful room with a script resting on a table and a single decision waiting to be made. Perhaps that unseen moment becomes the beginning of an even greater journey. If this story made you think, share your thoughts in the comments. Would you choose the biggest opportunity available, or would you wait for the story that truly speaks to your heart? Share this story with fellow drama fans, and stay tuned for more emotional stories filled with unforgettable moments, inspiring decisions, and extraordinary journeys.